your kind of company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, freak storm leaves a family of 3 in the village of San Carlos in Orange Walk without a roof over their head. Belize could offer security support to Haiti. Salvador's Minister of Agriculture in Belize. And no resolution between BSI-ASR and the BSCFA as yet. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Monday, September 25th, 2023.
LV, $50. Thank you. Wait, hey, this 50 is a fake.
How do you know it's a fake?
What are you talking about, sir? How can I identify a genuine note from a fake note?
Well, a genuine 50 has a watermark with the jaguar and the written words of the 50, also a thread.
Know your money and know a fake one when you see it. Do not rely on any one security feature. Look for the clarity and quality of printing. The printed lines and colors should be sharp and clear. Feel the quality of the paper and the raised print. Hold the note up to the light to see the windowed security thread. It should form one complete line when held up to the light. The watermark and denominational electrotype. The jaguar is the watermark in the $100 and $50 notes. The sleeping giant is the watermark in the $20, $10, $5, and $2 notes. The see-through feature. The parts of the design printed on the back should fit exactly within the unprinted areas of the front to form the complete design. Check the $100 note for the toucan hologram with the periwinkle flower overprint. Tilt it to see the small images of the toucan and the numeral 100. Check the $50 note for the green foil angelfish. Check even closer. Use an ultraviolet light to see the fluorescent features. Use a magnifier to see the microlettering. Tiny letters that read Central Bank of Belize and the value of the note. Stop the circulation of counterfeit Belize currency notes. Pass all counterfeits to the police at once. It is a criminal offense to hold or use a counterfeit. Be safe. Be sure. Know your money.
Movies are dreams. That you never forget.
The lights change how everything looks. It's hard to find our house.
Ours is the dark house with no lights.
In this family, it's the scientists versus the artists.
What kind of movie are we gonna make?
You stop making movies, it'll break your mother's heart. I don't know what to do anymore.
You do what your heart says you have to. was your favorite part?
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. A mother and her three young children from the community of San Carlos here in the Orange Walk district are tonight without a roof over their heads following a massive windstorm on Sunday, which ripped the roof off their home. Orfa Diodanes says she was at home enjoying a relaxing Sunday afternoon when shortly after 4 the sky began to show signs of a storm. Seeing this, Orfa decided to get her children inside before the rain started. She never imagined the severity of the storm that would follow or the terror her family would endure as the storm hit. The mother of three says the storm began with mild winds and no rain. The situation, however, quickly escalated, and the family could feel their home tremble under the immense pressure being caused by heavy winds. A few minutes into the storm, the windows began to break, and soon after, the entire roof of the home was blown off its hinges.
Se vio como que iba a llover, y luego el cielo se oscureció, y arriba del cielo se escuchó como una bulla, una trompeta, y se hizo como un círculo blanco. Luego entró como un airecito bajo. Luego atrás vino el aire grande con lluvia recia. Y nosotros con mis hijas y mi nené de 2 años estábamos abriendo la casa como de costumbre. Cierra las puertas, las ventanas cuando va a llover. Pero nunca en nuestra vida nos imaginamos que iba a pasar algo que experimentamos en la casa. Que pasó el viento fuerte, cuando yo miré que se estaba mojando mi cuarto de mis hijas. Lo que yo hice, quería tapar con cobijas, con colchas para que no moje, pero fue imposible porque de ahí cuando el viento empezó, las ventanas empezaron ventanas de brillo empezó a estirarse, mule, como cuando va a reventar así. Y después, yo solo dije, Dios mío, porque sentí que se empezó a mecerse la casa, a sacudir. Y cuando el aire entró, alzó el primer pedazo de la taza de la lámina. No se arrancó de un solo, volvió a caer la lámina al segundo aire, entonces sí, alzó primera lámina. Entonces, cuando alzó, voló y empezó.
As the family did their best to hunker down inside the remains of their home, they could do nothing to prevent all their belongings from getting destroyed by both heavy winds and rain.
Niños empezaron a llorar, el niño. Tenía una niña de 4 años y el niño de 2. Ellos quedaron como en shock. Entonces ellos empezaron a llorar, a gritar. Había una amiga que me estaba visitando, empezó a gritar. Y yo solo recuerdo que yo les dije, corran, cúbranse, corran. Y salieron en el otro pedazo sí afuera, el otro pedazo, porque no podían salir afuera, seguía viento, corren para allá, se los llevo hasta el viento. Y de ahí, casi la mayoría de los vecinos estaban espantados porque también ellos estaban viendo que estaban cruzando trastes, sillas, de todo en el aire. Y se espantaron mucho cuando calmó el viento, me vinieron a ver qué pasó. Y les digo, esta cosa fue de 1 minuto con 24 segundos. Tan rápido que uno queda en shock de oír gritos, lluvia, de todo. No, ni sabe uno. Yo solo me acuerdo que yo solo agarré guardé mis papeles, que eso es lo más importante que corrí a agarrar. Y corrí a agarrar a mi nené. Cuando comenzaron a caer las tablas frente a la casa, pues se arrancó, los cortados, quebrados de una vez. Y yo solo dije, Diosito, ayúdanos si es que aquí vamos a morir, porque nos agarró de sorpresa. Nunca pensábamos que íbamos a experimentar eso ahí en la casa.
At this time, the family remains without electricity and water as the damages are being assessed in the home. Anyone willing to help Orpha and her family as they rebuild their home can contact them at phone number 671-2605. It is noted that other homes within the community also suffered various degrees of damage due to Sunday's storm. The eyes of the entire Caribbean continue to be on Haiti, where gang activity has caused major destabilization and the death of hundreds of Haitians. At this time, Belize, along with other Caribbean countries, are presently weighing the possibility of providing security personnel for a potential multinational force in Haiti. There is no concrete commitment in place as yet, but if these talks actually take shape, Belizean soldiers could be traveling to Haiti to offer security support. Prime Minister John Briceño today talked about this matter, adding that discussions have been focused on two major tactics to offer support to Haiti.
Haiti is a really, really bad state, and innocent people are being murdered, women are being raped, even children are being raped, and it's just a sense of lawlessness. And I believe that we in CARICOM, we also have a moral responsibility to be able to do something. There have been a lot of requests or offers. I know, I think Rwanda has been one of the countries that have said that they're prepared to send some troops to help. There's been a movement by Canada, and we spoke with Canada several months ago in trying to see what is it that we can do. I know even the United States is starting to want to get more involved. There is a two-pronged approach to it. One is a political one. The Prime Minister Holness from Jamaica have been organizing several meetings with the different players from Haiti. They've been brought to Jamaica, to Bahamas, and I think they've gone once to Haiti to be able to meet with them to see how we can have a consensus between all of these competing interests in Haiti. And because while that is happening, people are suffering, people are getting killed. And so that's on the political side. On the military side, for want of a better word, the UN has been very careful and hesitant about going into Haiti, and likewise the American, because the minute that happens, then it turns the whole issue. It's almost like the imperialists, quote unquote, are wanting to take over Haiti. So it is felt that if we have our own, for instance, even like Rwanda, and I think there's another country in Africa, I'm trying to remember, Kenya in particular, have offered. We felt that because we have a historical connection through the slave trade and so forth, that it would be easier for them to go into Haiti without having that major pushback, as if you see the Americans there or the UN. And of course, then CARICOM is expected to be able to also to do their part. Belize is prepared to do a part. We have not come to the position as to if and when and how much we'll be able to send. But before we reach to that point, we have to ensure that that one, we're not going to do it alone, but more importantly, that we have the necessary wherewithal, the resources to be able to move our troops safely and keep them safely while they're there. The initial thing is right now is that we should do, well, this task force, for want of a better word, would go in to be able to protect the essentials, the water system, the port, and so forth, so that there can be a semblance of normalcy in trying to get the country back in its feet.
A high-level delegation of the United States government was in Belize earlier in September, where the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense, Daniel Erickson, invited Belize to be a part of the efforts to assist Haiti. The 2023-2024 sugarcane crop season is expected to commence in a few months, and until today there has been no resolution to the extended standoff between the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association and the BSI ASR over the signing of a commercial agreement. With the existing agreement expected to expire in a few weeks, the entire industry is holding its breath, hoping for a favorable resolution before the start of the season. The industry is to avoid a repeat of last year's crop opening, which included blockages and government intervention. As the body appointed by the Prime Minister to overlook the negotiations between both parties, today the Minister of Agriculture confirmed that the ministerial subcommittee led by Minister Karim Musa continues to meet with both the farmers and millers in the coming weeks.
We are supposed to meet this week with the cane farmers. We need to start the crop. We need to have an agreement between BSI and BSCFA to start the crop. That is what we are focusing on the next 2 weeks right here.
Despite the current outlook on the industry, Minister Mai says there is hope for positive results.
The sugar industry will not die. Many industries decline and then they come up, world prices. The sugar industry may not decline. It will not end. It will probably shift hands from small producers to big producers, I don't know. But that is yet to be seen. We, as long as I'm the Minister of Agriculture, I will try and ensure that it stays in the hands of the farmers. I will do my best to that. That's what people voted for me to ensure that the farmers can survive in the industry.
A delegation headed by the Minister of Agriculture from El Salvador is currently in Belize on a 2-day official visit. The purpose of the visit is to explore opportunities for technical cooperation in agriculture between El Salvador and Belize. This cooperation includes knowledge sharing, technology transfer, and joint projects aimed at improving food security and enterprise development in both countries. This meeting, according to Minister of Agriculture Honorable Hassamai, comes as a reciprocal visit to further discuss matters which were covered during previous visits by his team to El Salvador.
This is a reciprocal visit from Minister Guardado of El Salvador. I think that in the past, you know that we have visited Salvador 3 times, trying to open markets, trying to establish that relationship with them. 6 million people, and they import 85% of what they consume. And we have 400,000 people. We're strong in grain production, strong in soybean, kidney beans, meats. And so we're looking at the opportunity. Also looking at technical cooperation. So today they reciprocated with their visit, looking for 2 major things. One is technical cooperation between our researchers and educational institutions, right? Central Farmer Research Station, of course, UB has a faculty of agriculture now. And they're also looking at the trade opportunities, reciprocal trade, not only what we can export to them, what they can also sell to us. And this is the way trade operates. It's you have to export and you have to import. So if we have that relationship which we're building, then I think we're on a good footing. Minister Courtney informs me that we are now starting the first round of negotiations for the partial scope agreement with El Salvador. And so today they are here to look at those 2 things. They want to look at the products, they want to look at the farms, they want to see the quality, they want to see the amounts that we have. And so we'll take them to see the farms today in Orange Walk.
The two-day visit will include the visits to different farms in the Cayo, Belize, and Orange Walk districts to establish the possibility of exporting some of the products grown in these areas to El Salvador, according to Minister Mai.
They consume small beans, not the red kidney beans. The big beans we have, they're smaller red beans, and they import thousands of tons. And their interest is, they have said to us, can you supply us with that? They're also looking at white corn. They import much white corn for human consumption, but they also import yellow corn for animal feed. So we're looking at both, and we will see both today. We're also looking at some of the vegetables, carrots for example, and we're also looking at some fruits, which we will all see today.
Part of the discussions, according to Minister Mai, will also include possible importation of products from El Salvador to Belize, which consist of mainly processed products.
I suspect that they are looking at processed foods. They are very strong in agro-processing and value-adding. You see these Diana chips and so on. They import corn, and then they process it, and then we export it to other countries. So I suspect they're looking at that process. They're very strong in processed foods, right? We are strong in primary products. They're strong in processing because they have foreign investments in facilities there that process.
Ensuring that Belize is able to produce most of its agriculture needs as well as enough to export, according to Minister Mai, will ensure food security for Belizeans despite any external occurrences in the future.
The more you export, the better you are. The more you export, the less you import, much better you are. And so this is what we are doing. This is what Plan Belize said we will do. We will establish trade between Central America and other countries. That's exactly what we are doing. So whenever you can export more and import less, provide you produce your own food, you're in a pretty good position. Belize is blessed. I'll tell you, we are the only country in Central America that does not import a grain of corn. Not a grain of corn, nor yellow nor white. We are the only country in Central America and the Caribbean that exports corn and animal feed. We are the only country in Central America that does not need to import a grain of soybean. All of Central America and the Caribbean import soybean. We export soybean now. So we live in a blessed country, a country of hardworking people. Rice. The largest producer of rice in the world is China, but the largest exporter of rice in the world is India. India is responsible for 40% of rice exports. And today, India has declared that they will no longer export rice. So that 40% rice that's supposed to be on the world trading block is no longer there. Who will pick up that slack? Salvador mentioned today that they're interested in importing rice.
The first stop in today's official visit included a tour at TKO Farms, one of the largest soursop producers in the country. Almost 3 months have passed since Oceana submitted 22,000 signatures to the Governor General in Belmopan. The petition is to trigger a referendum before the moratorium on offshore drilling is ever lifted. By law, those signatures should have been verified or denied during a period of 2 months. That did not happen, and the matter is now with the Attorney General's ministry, which has written to Oceana citing the holdback. Last week, the AG spoke on the matter, stating that it would be resolved within a few days. And today, when speaking with the media, the Prime Minister cited the conclusion which had been reached on that matter.
I don't think it's a matter of willfully ignoring it, but we felt that since we already have the People's Constitutional Commission ongoing right now, that would be the best place to be able to address it through the PCC, since they were asking even for the amendment of the Constitution. So we felt that it would have been best to do that. But what we've done as a compromise with them, we're working on an amendment, basically, as what we did with the marijuana issue, that whenever, should the day come that we want to do any kind of exploration in the sea, or the ocean. It depends on, which way they want to take. That then we will then have a referendum. I've not seen the exact wording, but pretty much that's what the Attorney General just briefly shared with me. And I think probably next cabinet next week, he will then bring the actual proposal and the wording.
Is this a rule of law issue, though? Because I know your government, on the side, Musa is the one who first implemented this referendum legislation, and the law does not make a provision for a review, as you all are doing, and make a look point another way. The law says within X number of days, a referendum is triggered if the signatures are certified. You all are playing with the law, it would appear.
Absolutely not.
Far from bending the laws, the PM says the government is simply taking advantage of the resources readily available in the PCC.
It just so happened that at this moment, we have appointed by law, voted in National Assembly, the People's Constitutional Commission. And so we felt, why go through that? Why spend millions of dollars in a referendum when the People's Constitutional Commission, the commission is going around countrywide, getting recommendations from the different groups of people, different communities, and I hope that within a year's time, I think they have probably at least another 6 months, they can come up with a bunch of recommendations to myself as the Prime Minister as to the way going forward. So I think it was just the opportune time. It's just a matter of timing, and that this is happening at the same time. Obviously, if the PCC was not in effect at that moment, then the law is a law. We'll probably have to go ahead with the referendum.
Last week, the People's Constitution Commission clarified the funding situation amidst reports that asserted the delays. But the Commission says that is far from the truth, and also confirmed that it is a lie that there is no funding to keep the work going. The chairman of the PCC, in an interview with a national news outlet, confirmed that there were some delays in the reception of some funding, but also confirmed that it happens when working with the public sector. But today, when reporters swarmed the chairman of the executive of the People's United Party, they still pressed for answers in relation to delays and lack of funding for the work of the commission. Henry Charles Offshore was friendly in his answer, saying that the assertions and speculations were empty.
A budget was approved, was voted on by the National Assembly in March. I did see some commentary that perhaps that the budget has been fully exhausted. I can categorically say that that's not true. I checked with the finance officer in my ministry to make sure that we still had funds available. And of the $1.5 million that was approved by the National Assembly, I believe that so far they have dispersed $1 million. So there's still about 1/3 of the budget that was approved to do the work of the People's Constitution Commission. Of course, there may be additional sums that will be requested. If that's the case, it would have to go to a supplementary and approved by the National Assembly.
But is it a fact that, in fact, the PCC office should be able to administer these funds on its own, but in fact, your ministry, it is alleged, is sitting on the money like a Kaiser?
It has to be a ministry that asks for the de-reservation of the funds. In this particular case, it's the Ministry of the Public Service, and whenever a request comes in, the monies are requested from the Ministry of Finance. I can't see how fast the Ministry of Finance approves the de-reservation of the funds, but like I said, so far 2/3 of the budget has been spent or has been de-reserved. I'm not sure if the second 1/3 has already been exhausted, but certainly there's still 1/3 of the budget still available. I don't know the day-to-day realities of who has been paid. Like we don't, Ministry of Public Service does not take that type of to go into detail in terms of the spending, just to make sure that when a request is made that it's de-reserved. So I wouldn't be able to comment on whether they've been paid or not, but we do support whenever there's a request coming in for de-reservation of funds.
I keep hearing the contrary, sir. Huh? I keep hearing the contrary.
Well, I can only explain from our end, and our end is that when the request comes in, the money is requested from the Ministry of Finance, and then the payments are made. How fast they are made, I wouldn't be able to say. I don't go into detail with that.
CTV3 News confirmed that the work of the commission is continuous, and in the coming weeks, the commission will be in southern Belize to continue with its consultations. A month has passed since Minister of the Blue Economy and Area Representative for Belize Rural South, Andre Perez, was granted a leave of absence from Cabinet. This came after investigation into allegations of sexual misconduct and harassment were brought against him by a female attorney. His leave of absence was granted while a legal review is being carried out by the Office of the Attorney General. In speaking on Minister Perez's situation today, Prime Minister John Briceño confirmed that while on leave, Perez is not getting paid as a cabinet minister, however, is still receiving his benefits as an elected area representative.
I said that he asked for a leave of absence, and it's an unpaid leave of absence. He's not a cabinet minister, so how can he get his salary? Let's start on the basis. And it seems that indeed the cabinet secretary forget to pass it on down the chain of command that he should not get that salary. We're hoping now that the CabSec will speak to him, that probably will have to refund that first part that he got, that because he was not a minister of cabinet.
But still gets paid as area rep.
Sorry?
Still gets paid as
of course, he's still the rep, and he get the constituency development fund and so forth, because he's still the representative for Belize Rural.
Coming up next, PUP gets ready for municipal elections, but who will represent the party as the mayoral and councillor candidates? Stay tuned.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again. Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. It's my face. You stole my face.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
This can't be happening. I completely broke the universe.
Zod, we've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future. What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm Barry. We're Barry. Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are gonna want to see this.
Buenos días. 2 boletos para Ficacas, por favor. ¿Ida y vuelta? 54.
Este dinero es falso.
¿Falso?
Sí, este billete es falso.
¿Y por qué es falso?
porque un verdadero billete de $50 tiene una marca de agua en la forma de un jaguar con la marca de agua y electrotipia de denominación y un hilo de seguridad.
Conozca su dinero. Reconozca el billete falso al verlo. No se confíe en solo una de las características de seguridad. Busque la claridad y calidad de la impresión. Las líneas y el color impresos deben ser nítidas y claras. Sienta la calidad del papel y de la impresión levantada. Ponga el billete a la luz y observe. El hilo de seguridad avantanillada debe formar una línea completa cuando se pone a la luz. La marca de agua y la electrotipia de denominación, el Jaguar, es la marca de agua en los billetes de 100 y $50. El gigante dormido es la marca de agua en los billetes de 20, 10, 5 y $2. El registro perfecto. Las partes del diseño impreso en la parte posterior deben caber exactamente dentro de las áreas sin imprimir en el frente del billete para formar el diseño completo. Revise los billetes de $100 para saber si está el holograma del tucán con la impresión sobrepuesta de la flor de vinca per vinca. Inclínelo para ver las imágenes pequeñas del tucán y el numeral 100. Revise los billetes de $50 para saber si está la imagen del pez ángel en color verde plateado. Mira más cerca. Utilice luz ultravioleta para ver los elementos fluorescentes. Utilice una lupa para ver las letras más pequeñas que leen Central Bank of Belize y el valor del billete. Detenga la circulación de los billetes beliceños falsos. Pasa todas las falsificaciones a la policía inmediatamente. Es una ofensa criminal guardar o utilizar falsificaciones. Esté a salvo, esté seguro, conozca su dinero.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Asunción Radio Diagnostics is a radiology service that we provide. It entails the services of ultrasound, X-ray, mammogram, and then we incorporated the laboratory services also. So we are actually in the business of images and laboratory. Soon after graduation, and I came back to Belize, I spent about 15 years in the public service. And that was one of my dreams, to have my own clinic where I can provide and help people. And now NHI that is on board, I mean, that just facilitated everything and speeded up everything that I intended to do in my whole career, to be open and to be accessible to all walks of life people. All right. So I would say that yes, indeed, the NHI is going to serve its purpose, and it's going to be great for the people. They will have access to quality health service. The NHI, to me, was indeed a good venture, and that's the reason I decided, along with the whole staff here, to join, because it's going to benefit the Belizean society at large, and it will bring the medical services to the less privileged people, quality service. It has been proven worldwide that prevention is better than cure. So if we can detect conditions at an early stage and start to treat it, for example, patients with diabetes, hypertension, which is one of the main causes of death in Belize, then we can avoid these complications at an early stage, and then we are not going to burden the expenses on the Ministry of Health, all right, by having patients in the intensive care unit.
Major political parties in Belize are eyeballing March, which is pretty much around the block. That is because it will mark a fierce political fight that will determine which parties' mayoral candidates and their respective slates will be taking over the municipal offices for the term 2024 to 2027. With that said, the reigning People's United Party have been tight-lipped about who their representatives will be. But today the media waited for the Honorable Charles Usher to emerge from an intense meeting where the main topic was to decipher which applications submitted for the position of mayoral candidate or councillors was the best fit to be posted on a slate. The media pressed for answers, but Usher was candid with his response.
The National Executive met in regular session this morning. We got a full report from the National Campaign Manager in reference to the 9 municipalities. As you may know, vetting committees were established in each of these municipalities to go over all the applications. Just to recap, we got 125 applications countrywide. There were 24 applications for mayor and 101 applications for councillor candidates. So it was, we went through all of those with the National Campaign Manager, the recommendations being brought forward, and the National Executive approved the recommendations made by the National Campaign Manager.
How does that number compare to what was submitted for the previous municipals?
I don't remember the numbers from the previous municipals, but it's certainly more than the last time.
And so then in relation to Deputy Mayor, Belize City, will Mayor Wagner be endorsed as your mayoral candidate?
The recommendations coming were approved, but we have to reach out to our candidates first. We can't allow the media to have that first. We have to reach out to all our candidates countrywide before we can make it public. That's fair enough, don't you think?
One councillor has frowned upon the fact that Alan Pollard did go out and campaign during the September 21st parade.
No, Alan Pollard was part of the unity parade that we had out there. I didn't see it as campaigning. I believe that we had a massive parade. You guys saw the pictures, saw the videos. It just showed a unified force, the People's United Party, making sure that we are ready for the municipal elections in March of 24.
Where does the party's support lie at this moment? I know you said you want to speak to the candidates first, but where does the party's support lie?
Our party always supports all of our candidates, Vijay, and we are making sure that we have a process, a vetting process that has been completed for all 9 municipalities. Those recommendations were made. We had discussions this morning. Perhaps there were some disagreements with some of them, but in the end, a unanimous position was taken, and that's the position that the party will now take.
Again, the municipal elections are scheduled for March of 2024, and that means that both political parties will soon be knocking on your doors. Quite a number of times we have brought you highlights of work being done by the Rotaract Club of Orange Walk. But did you know that Corozal has its very own Rotaract Club, which is formed by 15 members and is actively engaged in community development since 2018? Julian Brown from the Rotaract Club of Corozal sat on the couch of the Spirit of Belize this morning and had a one-on-one with the host about what the club has been up to since 2018.
El club, por sí mismo, fue uno de los primeros clubes de todo el país en recibir un grant. Eso fue en tiempo de COVID. Nosotros pudimos conseguir ayuda económica a través de la Fundación Internacional de Rotary para hacer o para dar comida a las personas que se encontraban con bastante necesidad. Entonces eso, por mi opinión, es uno de los mejores proyectos que hemos tenido. Lo hicimos por 2 meses aproximadamente y, como le digo, fuimos uno de los primeros en hacer este tipo de actividad. Y ya después de eso, todos los demás siguieron con el mismo espíritu de querer hacer algo, especialmente durante ese tiempo de necesidad. Actualmente, en este año rotario, nuestra actividad con más mérito ha sido el de regalar útiles escolares a los niños que se encuentran en Corozal. Lo hicimos específicamente para la escuela primaria de Nazarín, en donde encontramos 60 niños. Les dimos todos los útiles escolares que necesitaban para el año que está entrando, porque pues nosotros sabemos la importancia de invertir en la educación de un niño
The Corozal Rotaract Club's most recent project was working with St. Paul's Primary School in Corozal Town, which coincided with National Service Day. For this particular project, the club partnered with the Lions Club of Corozal and Oceana, Belize.
In relation to the project at the St. Paul's Anglican School, it started off with trying to change some pipes, pipes that were leaky and were in a bad shape. And then we went to make an assessment on the playground area, and we found that the playground area was not safe for the consumption of the kids. So we wanted to redistribute and recycle the material that was there. So eventually what ended up happening was that we went post-Carnival on the 17th, on Sunday of September, to commemorate the National Service Day. Since most of us have work, we wouldn't be able to be active on Tuesday, the 19th. But we decided to do it on the 17th, which is Sunday. We're big believers in what George Price, the Right Honorable George Price, represented. We believe in his legacy, and we wanted to do something special for our community in that time. So from all of the association that we had with Oceana and Lions, we decided to do a food garden for the kids, using the same material from that playground that I was talking about. We did three areas in which they can plant vegetables, and these vegetables and fruits would be used for their annual feeding program that they have at St. Paul's. And also we decided to use some of the material to make some bike racks so that the kids can have their bikes and have them properly and safely stored. So that, in essence, was the project. We just found an alliance, or formed an alliance with Lions Club of Corozal.
Through fundraisers, the club collects monies that is pumped directly into the community in sectors that need most attention. According to Julian Brown, the Rotaract Club of Corozal has plans for another project this coming weekend, and the community can be involved.
We have a project this coming weekend, actually, this coming Saturday. It's the International Coastal Cleanup Day. And again, us in collaboration with Oceana, Lions Club of Corozal, Plan Corozal, and the Scouts Association of Belize, we'll be covering the entire Corozal coast, and we're going to be collecting all sorts of garbage and also making data entry in an app called Cleanswell. This will further guide us to make decisions and to help us with policy making, so that we know specifically in which areas we encounter the most amounts of littering and the most amounts of garbage collection. So in that essence, we invite all of the community to come together with us. It's not, you don't only have to be part of these organizations to take care of our environment. We invite each and every Corozaleño, and we would want for everyone to partake in this beautiful project. It's going to be on Saturday, and it's starting at 8 a.m.
Okay. Where do you all meet?
So since we're going to be covering all of the coast, each club or each organization will be in charge of a specific area or a specific boundary. As it relates to the Rotaract Club of Corozal, we will be from Miami Beach onward.
If the work that the Rotaract Club of Corozal has shaken curiosity in your mind, you can visit their Facebook page to inquire about how you can become a member of a fascinating group of young people that are transforming Corozal one project at a time. Over the years, Taiwan has invested millions of dollars into Belize's national development as a sovereign young nation through the Taiwan International Cooperation and Development Fund. The assistance has been a mutual one since Belize remains steadfast as a nation that speaks out on the need of having Taiwan recognized internationally as a sovereign nation. Today, a significant milestone was reached between the two nations. In the case of Belize, it is a country that is embattled by climate change forms of floods, droughts, and hurricanes, to mention a few, which directly endangers Belizeans. Based on these factors, the access to information is essential, as these messages and even images can save lives. As such, through the Taiwan International Cooperation and Development Fund, a training was made available in Taiwan for persons working in the areas of disaster. The training took place from August 7 to the 25th, 2023, and covered topics such as flood disaster prevention and disaster management. This training was geared at assisting Belize to enhance its systems that provide information for the general public in a timelier manner.
It's my great pleasure to join everyone here to witness the successful conclusion of the Belize Interagency Rapid Response Team Training Program. This program is part of the Belize River Basin Flood Warning Capacity Improvement Project that our two governments collaborate to jointly respond to disaster induced by climate change. Under the program, officials and technicians from related Belizean government agencies team up to better coordinate the national response to natural disasters, with a particular focus on flood event. I'd like to point out, during the team's 3-week training in Taiwan, Minister Habad and the CEO Williams also joined them in the first week. The presence of such high-level officials in the program shows how greatly the Belize government values this training program. Taiwan and Belize both are prone to natural disasters. In recent years, our two countries have been working closely in the area of disaster prevention. As Jason briefly mentioned, from 2019 to 2021, we collaborated on the Belize Urban Resilience and Disaster Prevention Project, which helped enhance the flood warning capacity around Cayo district. After completion of the project, the ongoing flood warning capacity improvement for the Belize River Basin project was launched in December 2022, further extending disaster prevention technology to the entire Belize River Basin. The achievement of the project includes the establishment of 5 hydrometeorological stations, an early hydrological warning system, and completion of the flood vulnerability assessment for San Ignacio, Belmopan, and Belize City. These 2 consecutive projects bear testament to Taiwan's commitment to partnering with Belize in the fight against climate disaster.
The training now positions the relevant department officers to readily make life-saving information available in a timely manner for the people of Belize. Kevin Cadle has been employed by the government of Belize for almost 30 years, but tonight word is emerging that he has tendered his resignation as director of the Department of Youth Services. Why would he pull that move? Well, critics may say it has to do with his name being dragged into an allegation of fraud where his educational credentials were being brought into question. However, that allegation was cleared up. Still, Cadle has decided to say adios and part ways with his long-standing employer, GOB. But with his resignation, will he be paid out his years of services? Here's what the Minister of Public Service told reporters.
The Director of Youth Services, Mr. Cadle, submitted his resignation from the public service. He gave 26 years of his life to public service, so I have to thank him for all the years that he gave to public service to the people and country of Belize, but he decided to go in a different direction. He submitted that resignation, and the resignation was accepted by the Ministry of Public Service.
Will he still receive his full benefits, etc., since at the time of his resignation he was about to come under investigation for significant wrongdoing or something like that? Because
he submitted his resignation, and as being a public officer for 26 years, he is entitled to his benefits, yes. once the resignation is accepted. Of course, he's not of the pension age yet, so he won't receive a pension until he reaches that pension age.
But the ineluctable fact is that there was an allegation of academic fraud involved.
It's the media that's bringing out allegations. I can only go by what I receive, and that's a resignation letter from the Director of Youth Services. And again, I have a thanking for the years that he gave to the country.
Sure, but then that's out in the public domain. Don't you investigate something like that to set a precedent for the future?
What is in the public's domain, the resignation letter?
No. What? 7 cited in relation to his academic certificate?
I investigated everything that was in the public's domain. I wouldn't be able to get any sleep. So
it's not you personally.
That what comes to my desk is a resignation letter. It was submitted to the CEO in the Ministry of Public Service, and the resignation was accepted by the ministry.
There is no word on who will replace Cadle as a Director of Department of Youth Services. The Minister of Health and Wellness and his delegation are currently attending the 45th meeting of the Council for Human and Social Development. A release from the ministry confirms that Minister Kevin Bernard is chairing the meeting. Belize sent a delegation in the persons of CEO Dr. Julio Sabido and Director of Health and Wellness Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa. The 45th Council for Human and Social Development meeting is a momentous platform for regional collaboration and discussions on health and social development issues, and it reflects its commitment to enhancing our healthcare standards, promoting wellness, and improving the standard of life for all. It is a pivotal meeting where representatives from CARICOM countries address the issues mentioned and share what methods work for them, and at the same time seeking innovative solutions for our region's well-being. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Tuesday, September 26th here on CTV3 and Faceta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at CTV3BelizeNews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at Facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.